Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Forensic Focus. I am your host, Charles Amodio with FAZ Forensics. At FAZ Forensics, we specialize in business valuation and forensic accounting. When answers matter, FAZ delivers. Today, I'm here with my colleague, Mike Brown. Mike, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Charlie. Good afternoon.
What's new in your neck of the woods?
Well, going well. We've got a nice fall weather. Got some baseball action down here in New York, downstate, and the football is not so great as usual downstate, but there's a lot going on at this time of the year, Halloween festive. It's fun.
Yes, a good time of year. Yeah, now you're a Yankees fan, right?
I am. I grew up a Met fan, changed over to the other side. Didn't realize that you could root for another team. You don't have to root for the team you live closest to the stadium to. So I proceeded to root for both New York teams, but when it comes to a showdown, I'm going to stay with the American League one.
Okay, all right, good. Yeah, as you know, I'm a Yankees fan, so unfortunately a tough loss last night, but
It was a tough one. Extra inning.
Yeah,
The
absolutely,
big homer.
absolutely.
Ugly.
Yeah. And the Jets always seem to be in the news though, right? You're a Jets fan.
It is for a team that's just been in the dumps. I went to school in Massachusetts, and what a divergence of reality for me as a Jet fan and as my compatriots in, no pun intended, Patriots in New England. What's fun about football, it's exciting, and the teams could still be in it, even though the Jets are 2-4. Well, maybe they could win a couple games. There's parity in the NFL, and certainly
Right.
all the teams have a chance to do it.
Well, I'm a Giant fan. Giants are 2-4. Right? You feel like they could turn the corner at some point and get back into the playoff hunt, and that's all you could ask for, right? Is to be competitive, right?
You got to say that. Let's blame it on the quarterback, blame it on the coach, or they'll have the quarterback blame it on the coach, then the coach be out the door.
That's
How's
right.
that work? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, it's crazy. I was actually thinking about this today because I'm a Knicks and Rangers fan, and the Knicks are they did well last year, and they're poised to do well this year, and the Rangers did well last year. They're poised to do well this year. Which in years past it's always been a little bit challenged with those two teams, and meanwhile the Giants, who have won Super Bowls but haven't really been that relevant in the last 10 years. But yeah, we'll see what happens, right?
Finally, how do I imagine the Jets are still relevant after not being in a Super Bowl 55 years later? We're just still waiting, still
It's hard to
hoping.
believe. It's hard to believe.
Sold my
55
soul to
years
the
ago.
devil, Joe Willie.
55 years ago. That's unbelievable. Wow. I mean, they haven't even been in the Super Bowl in 55 years.
No, they've been almost close a couple of times.
Almost close. So, Mike, what kind of cases have you worked on in the past?
Work a lot of business investigation matters, breach of contract, damages cases, accounting malpractice, a lot of area in the business divorce arena as relates to breakup of partnerships, corporations, a lot of post-acquisition disputes as well.
What do you like about those cases?
I like the intrigue. There's two sides to a story. What's on paper, the quantitative aspects, and then there are the qualitative aspects of talking to the participants in the matter. You get certain representations that are counted by the other side. I enjoy the X's and O's of the attorneys looking to get an advantage, a tactical advantage, or working with their consultants or experts in the context of putting together rebuttal expert reports as well.
Okay. Any what types of cases are you working on right now?
Right now, I'm working on a damages case related to a number of broker-dealer aspects, breach of contracts in the food and beverage industry as it relates to counting for various aspects of earn-out provisions, buyout provisions of an agreement. Got a number of investigations going on in the real estate area. There's a lot of activity going back when interest rates were low, and now interest rates are high and cap rates have changed. And what you see now is a lot of investors who are not realizing the profits they thought of real estate. Costs are higher, inflation is taking a toll, didn't know I needed a new roof, didn't know there were 10 units that no one was living in. A lot of
Okay.
aspects go on in that real estate
Yeah.
litigation area.
Okay. All right. Good. Good. And do you like to read?
I enjoy reading. I
Yeah.
read for pleasure, read
What do you read? What are you reading right
authoritative
now?
pronouncements of generally accepted accounting standards and principles, but I do read for pleasure. Recently read a book, The Hail Mary is a great book. Another book I'm reading now, A History of Benjamin Franklin, the biography. I really enjoy history of accounting. I didn't know there actually is a father of accounting, Charlie. You didn't know that. Gentleman named Luca Pacioli.
Okay.
Luca Pacioli was a 15th century Franciscan monk who codified the double entry system of accounting. And it wasn't that he invented accounting, but what he recognized, ancient Venetian times, there was a barter system. You make flour, you make hay, you make steak, let's trade. So there was debits and credits and ledgers and journals, and these same words that we use and breathe every day were in use half a call it half of a millennium ago.
Yeah.
What's a
Yeah.
millennium? I don't even know what a millennium is, but it sounds is millennium 1,000 years? It could be.
1,000 years? 1,000 years. Yeah. Yeah.
I have to
Wow.
fact check that one.
I know. Exactly. Let's not talk about that checking. So what the Hail Mary book, what is that book about?
Hail Mary book was a great book going to the point of a story of a time where the universe was coloring the sun and planets were dying and there was only a way, and there's something called astrophage, and what this was making a cloudy murky existence in the universe. And this story was about a team of scientists who went out to save mankind, and it was a real interesting portrayal. You had a mix of countries, American, individual from Russia, individual from China, putting teamwork together. I'm not giving away the book or anything else, but the universe is still here.
Okay. So when you said Hail Mary, that was gonna be about a football book. So that's
No,
why.
I actually, that what the book was suggested at me, and I've seen a lot of those Hail Marys. They seem not to work out a lot for my team.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's funny because I think on Monday night's game, the Jet game, they were Monday night, right? The Jets were Monday night? Yeah, Monday
Yes.
night. And by the way, who won the game last night?
Oh, I didn't even watch the game. Couldn't even tell you. I have not even gone on the news today.
I popped it on. It was, I think, 13-0, and I lost track of it because I think I was watching I was watching a little bit of the Mets and stuff like
Uh,
that. But on the Jet game on Monday night, there was a Hail Mary in the first half, right?
oh, towards the end of it, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, right. Now they called it a touchdown, right? Or did they
I don't
not?
recall the play.
Okay, okay. My brother had mentioned something to me about it, and he said that they call it, I think they called it a touchdown, and then but the guy actually dropped the ball, and they actually gave the Jets a touchdown. So yeah,
As a typical Jet fan, towards the end of the game, the Jets, they had the ball, they lost the ball.
yeah.
It was 11-11. I clicked the TV off. I said 3 minutes later, I go, let me put a TV back on. I know the Jets are gonna have another chance. Boom, they have another chance, and they blow that chance too.
It's
I'm
funny.
used to it. It's
Well,
enjoyable.
it's funny you say that because I wasn't watching the Yankee game last night. I was actually watching the Rangers game, and but my daughter called me. She said, "Hey, the Yankees tied it up. Judge hit a two-run home run, and oh by the way, Giancarlo hit a home run after that. They're up 4-3." I'm like, "All right, well I'm not turning it on. I'm not turning it on." I go on my phone and it's 2 outs in the ninth inning. They're up 5-3. I'm like, "Oh my God, this is great. This is great." I go back on my phone like 2 minutes later. It's 5-5. I'm like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that." So then, of course, I watched the rest of it, and yeah, I wish I didn't watch any of it, but anyway.
Something about fall baseball where the details, every pitch is just
Oh,
engrossed. It's rare that I'll watch a 9-inning game during the season, and
yeah.
it's just every pitch.
You're on
Only,
the edge of your seat.
and the only thing is the only sport where the defense controls the ball.
That's right. That's right.
So
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. So, what do you, well, actually, let me back up a second here. So what's the most interesting case you've ever worked on?
I worked on a case that related to investigations of alleged improprieties at a organization. And what became one aspect of an investigation looking at fraudulent pensioners became other aspects of looking at internal controls over procurement activities as it relates management override. And the matter became what really is what you see happening as a company sometimes is authority leakage, is as you move further on up in an organization, you get removed from the details. And if there's not command and controls over those detailed transactions, things could run afoul. So I found the case interesting because it was also a remediation project, how to improve on the matter and the controls at stake there at the organization.
Okay. Well, sounds interesting. What do you like to do outside of work?
I enjoy exercising, working the farm, so to speak, with my small garden of vegetables. I enjoy building. I'm an avid builder. I do crown moldings. I can do a lot of work. I've built large and small bars, as well as different types of aspects of home improvements, decks. It's enjoyable. I started out at the bottom of the house in the basement and worked my way up, though my wife says stay out of the kitchen, so that's what I do, even though I make a big mess in there when I do cook. And I enjoy cooking a lot as well.
What are you growing in your garden?
I had some tomatoes. Actually, I could show you. Let me bring them up here because this was quite
Absolutely.
interesting. Give me 1 second.
I feel like I need to be playing the Jeopardy music right now.
So one of my favorite things is to try growing something new every year. And I had some success this year with my first watermelon.
Wow, look at that.
I haven't opened it yet.
All right.
Pretty heavy.
Okay.
We'll see where it goes.
Okay.
But my pride, here it is. The hottest pepper in the world. Habanero peppers. Right here.
Look at those.
I'm gonna not eat them because they're really, really hot. So I'm actually gonna pickle them a little bit along with these hot red peppers. It wasn't a great growing season for me. I changed the soil around. Hot red peppers. I don't know how this is gonna fare together as a dish, but I enjoy the planting, the growing, and yes, what kind of vegetables? I really generally do a lot of cherry tomatoes,
Okay.
onions. I've tried garlic, I've tried Brussels sprouts before, all
Okay.
the veggies out there. Asparagus didn't work too well.
That's cool. That's awesome. So what's something that shows somebody that what's something that everybody should know about you?
Well, for me, I'm very passionate what I do, and whether it be my hobbies or whether it be my work, I like to get my hands dirty in the garden or in the numbers, in the ledgers. I grew up in the days of green ledger paper and one-write systems, and we all know what would happen to your sleeves at the end of the day. And for me, what I enjoy about the work is it's exciting. It's satisfying assisting clients, putting together pieces of a puzzle, and reading the depositions and the storyline. I say a lot, and it's true for me, is I don't have to read that much fiction or nonfiction. I just spend the time in the cases. I find it very rewarding and very satisfying for my work. Something I've been doing and practicing for a quarter of a century on the forensic side and throughout my 40-year career, just an appreciation of the development of whether it be the accounting standards, SEC, PCAOB controls, and the development of more sophisticated accounting pronouncements with all the new types of transactions that seem to be developing year in, year out.
Interesting, because you talk about, reading and, obviously through a lot of the work that we do, we read a lot of, documents. I know I read a lot of depositions. And, so you read about somebody and their story and where they've been, and it's interesting. I like to read outside of work as well. I do read a few self-help books, but also I like John Grisham, David Baldacci. I read a lot of those books. Matter of fact, I've read every Grisham book that's come out, and I'm trying to do the same thing with David Baldacci. So
Well, I also sometimes my wife asks me to read this, but actually how to be a great boss, and
yeah,
I do is I take little Cliff's notes. If anyone knows what a Cliff's note is, I think that's a real great way to summarize it. How can I get across? And you talk about business expert reports. How do you get something very complicated and simplify it? And you could get the message across in several pages is very important. So keep it simple, silly approach is super fun for
yeah,
me.
yeah. I like that. That's a good book. Got to be a great boss. So
Trying. I don't know. I'm my own boss. I'm my boss and my boss.
exactly. There
But
you go. There you
I
go.
enjoy the recommendation of that book.
Yeah. What do you got going on this weekend?
This weekend's gonna go up, well, call it the country. I live on Long Island, so getting off Long Island, just cross over the bridges, but we're gonna go up to Westchester and spend some time going to watch some football, some hopefully some positive baseball news will come out of the New York area with the both teams falling a little behind and enjoy cooking. Tonight's cook will be sole with breadcrumbs, asparagus, as well as rice pilaf, I think will
Wow.
be
Wow.
on
That
the
sounds
cook.
good.
So
That sounds.
I'm the chef of the evening for Friday nights. But I'm not allowed to clean up the fish after I cook for some reason, according to somebody. The plates still smell like fish. So I'm working on my improving some of my cooking cleaning skills.
Gotcha. Gotcha. It's funny. You say you're the chef for the evening tonight. I think I'm the chef for every evening, every night.
I
So I do like 99% of the cooking in my house.
Oh, I love it. What do you like to cook best? Is it a couple
Um,
dishes?
what one thing I make my kids like a lot is I make chicken cutlets, and they like the chicken cutlets a lot. So I make that quite a bit. I grill. I make obviously stuff on the grill. I make pasta and sauce, meatballs. My kids love my meatballs. So, but meatballs that's usually a Sunday dinner type of thing,
Yeah, I
right? The
love
pasta
that.
and the sauce. Yeah,
I
yeah.
came across a new recipe that I didn't know about, and I made it the other night. Buttermilk chicken.
Oh,
So you put chicken for 12 to 24 hours, let it soak in a Ziploc bag overnight. Buttermilk, scrape a little of the buttermilk off, have a heated dish pan in the oven, bake for 45 or so minutes, and it starts to brown. It is something else. And then you could use the rest of the buttermilk to make some waffles the next day, which I haven't done. So maybe I'll give it a waffle try on the weekend with
okay.
the remaining buttermilk. But that's my suggestion of the week on the food side.
I like that. I like that. It's funny because my wife, like, she's not because I like to cook and I enjoy cooking. When she cooks, she usually does Doordash. So, which is nice because there's no mess in the kitchen. Like last night, I go home from work late and yeah, they Doordash pizza, they Doordashed Panera bread because everybody wants something different. So, yeah, interesting.
I got another recipe for you.
Okay.
Go to a pizza place and just buy the dough. And
Yeah,
you
right.
got 5 days worth of bread, baked
Yeah.
bread. You roll it up, a little flour. I put some olives in the bread the other night and put it in a little Dutch oven, 30 minutes, and it's fresh bread. So making the flour and the dough is a little beyond my skill set right now. And so it's
Yeah.
just much easier going to the pizza place, getting the dough.
Funny, you talk about putting olives inside of the bread. So like my grandmother used to come up when she used to come up from Staten Island. I was born in Staten Island. When she used to come up from Staten Island, she used to make these things we call them mascatis. And they were like, I don't know, I guess you can maybe like call them like pizza rolls or whatever you want to call them, but we used to do black olives, not the, I'm trying to think what the, you'd have to get them pitted, but they were like the
Yes.
oily olives, and then you get like sausage. And so you do some sausage, and they were like little like I don't know, like little I don't know, like baseball size, maybe a little bit smaller, and they were like just delicious. Coming out of the oven, hot, you could
Mm.
smell them in the house. It was incredible. So after my grandmother had passed away, my mother made them, and actually my sister-in-law has made them a few times, and she's done a really good job with them. So it's funny. I have yet to make those, and I probably should. So I think I need to take your advice and go to the store and get the dough.
Well, tonight's a fish night, so I'll go around before closing all the bedroom doors. You know how the old commercial, fish for dinner? So
Yeah.
still trying to taste good sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's funny. We're actually doing hibachi tonight. We're going out with all my wife and I with all the kids. So they enjoy it because we have older ones and younger ones. I think I've mentioned that to you before. And the little ones, they like the hibachi. It's entertainment, and they like Asian food. So as we all do, which is good.
I love it. I enjoy that. My kids, when they were younger too, just today, we love still going out for
Yeah.
sushi. I don't know if you're a sushi eater,
Love sushi.
but just
Love
food
sushi.
is just a wonderful thing of just gives me so much excitement and passion. And I try and stay healthy, fit, but there are moments that it's a little difficult. So,
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Excellent, excellent. Well, Mike, that's all the time we have for today. I appreciate you coming on and look forward to talking to you again on the show.
well, thank you very much for having me. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.